Hello, everyone. Greetings and welcome back to Spiritual Matters. Please remember to like and subscribe. All right. Now, today I'm talking about two near death experiences that I've had. I'm telling you, the enemy is out for blood. Um, he doesn't like anything that we do. And because the call of God is so great in our lives, He tries everything to ensure that He ends our lives. That, because He has a mandate, and He has to be true to Himself. The enemy has to be true to himself. He comes to kill, steal, and destroy. That is what He's there for. And He's true to Himself. So, I did not really understand that I was called as a prophet to nations. And I encountered some warfare that really came to take me out. I was working at a school at the time when I got sick in 2010. And prior to that, I got a dream. And in the dream, a demon said to me, a life for a life. I didn't really understand that I was called as a watchman, an intercessory watchman. A woman of God revealed to me that I was called as an intercessory watchman. The intercessory watchman is one who stands in the gaps, sometimes feel the burdens of others, and is used as a proxy between God and man. And so I was that person standing in the gap, but I really didn't understand my role. At the time at my workplace, there were a number of persons who they would lose their child. It was always they were always losing their children. So that was a demonic thing. And there was a particular lady that the Lord sent me to, and I wrote a note to her and allowed her to know what God was saying. Somehow the demons got upset and came into my dream and said, well, if it is that, they were saying a life for a life, but what they were actually saying is that if this woman's child has to live, then I would have to die. And I got ill. It was a number of things because others could see that I am seeing their business, because I know that I'm able to see people and so on in dreams and all of that from a long time, and see visions of people. I wasn't knowing. I didn't know that I didn't know that I was called as a prophet. And so these are the people that were around me. They could see that the calling that I had on my life, and they could see that I wasn't called to anything ordinary. And so the plot started. And when people are attacking your life, they have to look for open doors in the bloodline. So they have to look for anybody in your bloodline who have sold out themselves to Satan or who are working witchcraft. They look to see if there's anybody like that in the bloodline. And they say, okay, when they find such a person, they are able to quickly um, afflict you. They are able to quickly afflict you when it is that someone in the bloodline has opened the door to satanic forces. So I fell ill 2010. Started with abdominal pain. I thought it was just gas, so I was trying to get some tea, and like I would like feel like I would vomit, feel like I was gonna vomit, and it's like I would bring up the tea. So I realized what's going on here. So I didn't go to the doctor in the hospital in the evening. I went the next day because the pain became excruciating. When I went to the doctor, to the hospital, um, the the nurse that was taking, um, I think she was testing my sugar, and when she pricked my finger, my finger, I kind of jumped, right, and she was very rough with me, and I was like, oh my God, I'm in pain, and this lady is making it even worse, and I I did an X-ray and it showed that like there was a lot of fecal matter in one ear. So it showed like I was having um um like I was constipated. But it wasn't yeah, I was constipated and I've never had that problem again. Only one time I've had that problem and never again. But I heard in the spirit realm the word Ouija board. Ouija board. And I didn't understand it at the time. As I said, I was very young. I didn't really understand what was happening. But someone was using a Ouija board to call up my name, to conjure up spirits, and for me to die. No, after going to the hospital, they gave me some medication. That didn't work. I had to go to another hospital. I was still in pain, constant pain, constant pain. And um, I got a second round of medication, also tests to do. It was mainly tests at that hospital. So all of the tests came back um, negative, like everything was okay. Uh, but I was still in pain. And one night because had to stay in my parents' room, and I slept right between them, and I went to the bathroom on my own because they had to get rest. They were not sleeping because I was in pain and had to be crying. Most of the nights I was crying, so they could not get sleep. And I'm telling you that when I was returning from the bathroom, I collapsed. I collapsed. And next thing I remember was like going to a far place, but I could hear my parents, my mom's voice calling me back. But it's like I was traveling to a far place. And when I came back, I know that my eyes rolled over. You could see only the sclera, the white of the eye. You could only see the white part of my eye, but I was in a like far place, and they were saying Jesus, 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 and my eyes regained their normal color, but I could not see. I could not speak right. I could not speak for a while, and I was sweating profusely. And they had to call a prayer meeting, and the prayer meeting revealed some things about a young man that I was dating at the time. His mother was in some kind of witchcraft, and also from my former workplace, the place I was working at the time, there was some demonic attacks because people were saying that I see too much, and that I the Lord is causing me to see into their business and so on, and they have to get rid of me. And so after the prayer meeting, I started to feel better. Then I returned to work. Um, and I'm telling you, I will tell you in part two, the second time that the enemy came at me to end my life. But when it happened the first time, I didn't really know about household wickedness, because people can just attack you like that, such in such a major way. If there's no one in the bloodline, the first thing that an evil worker will do is to go into the bloodline to see who has opened the door for them to work through that bloodline, or it is that there are um, generational curses in the bloodline that they can work through. For example, a lot of persons die of cancer, or a lot of persons die of diabetes. They can go into the bloodline and manipulate through demonic spirits so that you also um, may die of this illness, or sometimes some mysterious things come up. So that is how I basically I went close to death in 2010. And it's the grace of God why I'm alive today. You can like, subscribe, and definitely follow me for more. Part two is coming up, where I'll tell you about my experience overseas where I almost died. To God be the glory. Thank you so much for watching. Spiritual Matters will be with you soon.